Welcome to the world of W.E.Kiwi, where friends come in all sizes, shapes and species. And here's our new story. W.E.Kiwi and the Blue Bellied Boopa Snoopa. Good night, everyone, W.E.Kiwi waved as he went off to bed. W.E. was so fortunate he'd be invited on a boat for the weekend. His best friends were all there. Tomorrow they would go out to the ocean to go whale watching. W.E. had never seen a whale up close. What if they don't understand him? Perhaps it would be like meeting a pink-striped meemul. They could find a common grunt and point language to communicate. Walking down a set of stairs he went, then down a tight hallway which could only just fit his chubby belly in. Luckily, the captain of the boat had put everyone's names on the cabins, so he found his quarters. He put on his pajamas and hopped into bed. The waves gently rocked the boat. W.E. had only one pillow tonight, so he fluffed it up and placed it under his head. The salt sea air was still fresh in his beak. He breathed in, and then, achoo! Bless you, W.E., Cameron called out from the cabin next door. Thank you, Cameron. Sleep well. You too, W.E. Shaking his beak, W.E. got more comfortable. As he rested, the rocking of the boat let him drift off to sleep. Back and forth it went. W.E.'s feet started to tingle, then his knees, his bum, his belly, up to his chest, and finally his head. Like electricity running through his body, he lifted his head off the pillow. He looked around. He was on a large log going down a river. It wasn't electricity that woke him up, but ants crawling across him. They were trying to stay dry too. The log wound gently down the river, with rocks on either side. Mountains towered up over the river. Snow dusted the mountain tops. W.E. could see goats searching for food. Up ahead, he saw a small inlet. He lay on his belly, quickly paddling one side of the log to steer it to the shore. The log was so big, it took a lot of effort to change its course. As the log went into the inlet, it jammed between two rocks. W.E. was able to walk off the logs and onto the rocks. The ants followed off the log to safety too. A small path led W.E. through the bushes that lay at the bottom of the mountain. It was winding left and right till it finished. This isn't the finish, it's the beginning, W.E. thought as he looked out upon a valley of trees. He was at the top of another mountain range. It would be very hard to walk all the way down to the valley, as the rock faces were nearly vertical, and there weren't any stairs helping him down. He called out to the valley. Hello there, valley. You look splendid. Oh, yes, it does. Such a fright caused W.E. to jump back. He looked behind himself, but there was no one there. He peered down the valley, as maybe the creature was calling from there. Looky, looky, little Kiwi. Then you've met a Kiwi bird before? No. I have read many books and you appear in them. There aren't many chubby birds that look like you. And what is your name? I'm W.E.Kiwi, but my friends just call me W.E. Pleased to meet you, W.E. I'm Poola Doola, the Blue Bellied Boopa Snoopa. I don't want to appear to be rude, but why don't you come out and meet me? There was a rustling in the trees above. Out from behind the wide trunk of the tree came Poola Doola. W.E. watched as she bumbled forward. She was moving forward, being led by her round belly. Her legs were thin and short. However, her feet were wide to help with balance. Both feet were six-toed paws with wide white pads. White short-cropped fur covered her body, but in the middle of her belly was a bright blue circle. Her head was oval-shaped, with a single horn coming out like a unicorn. Both ears stood upright. It reminded W.E. of his friend Martin the rabbit. Her eyes had searing yellow pupils, like two powerful streetlights. They tracked everything W.E. did. He looked for arms and couldn't see them. As she spoke, a long tail swooped in front of him. She didn't need arms and hands with a tail like that. "Shall we go off on an adventure, W.E.?" Poola Doola shouted. "But I can't climb down the rock face. My legs are strong, but my feet won't grip." "Then I have the solution." Poola Doola leapt to a branch with a tail, then hung her feet down. "Hold on to my feet, W.E. My tail is strong enough for both of us." Are you sure, Poola Doola? I had a big dinner." "No worries at all." W leapt up to hold Poola Doola's feet, and with one large swing, they were off down the cliffs. Poola Doola's tail would swing from tree to tree down the valley. W.E. closed his eyes at first, as it was terrifying. But after the first 2 or 3 trees, he knew Poola Doola was a professional tree swinger. Getting to the flat ground of the valley, Poola Doola gently placed W.E. down on a bed of leaves. Shaking his feathers back into place, W.E. noticed the sounds around him. There were birds, monkeys, insects calling out to each other. Poola Doola swung down from the tree and put her tail around W.E. "Shall we do that again?" "Aren't you tired?" "No, the Blue Bellied Boopa Snoopa can swing for days. And sometimes we do. Across the valleys, the only thing stopping us are the rivers. To navigate those, we must find a log to hop on and take us across." "That's funny, as that's how I got here, on a log in the river, but high up in the mountain ranges." Poola Doola started making funny noises. She kept going and going until... Achoo! Achoo! With her tail, she wiped her nose. "Sorry, W.E. Sometimes I get allergies from the taka flowers. Let's go for a walk and see what we can find. I know the valley very well. I never get lost, as it's all just one big adventure anyway." W.E. and Poola Doola marched through the valley. Magnificent trees and flowers grew. Weird but wonderful fruit hung from the trees. Many W.E. had never seen before. But his new friend pointed out what each of them were. There were purple doings, which looked just like apples. Green and yellow nerfters. W.E. tried one of these, and if he closed his eyes, he would have believed he was eating a pineapple. A red vine curled around a rotting log. On the vine, berries grew, orange and white. "Oh, these are my favourite, W.E. You must try one." "What are they, Poola Doola?" "Verbs. They look ripe, so let's have a snack." Poola Doola pulled off some verbs with a tail and placed them in W.E.'s hand. They were warm and soft. W.E. took one verb, and then Poola Doola giggled. "No, W.E. Eat the whole handful at once. See what happens." W.E. threw the whole handful into his mouth and chewed. Pop, pop, pop they went in his mouth at first, then suddenly a burst of flavour. It was like strawberries and blueberries all at once. Even though he knew it was rude to speak with his mouth full, W.E. couldn't help but ask for more. "Amazing, Poola Doola. Can I have some more?" "Sure, but only one mouthful, as we have to leave some for everyone else. I told you how wonderful they are." Both W.E. and Poola Doola chomped away at their verbs. As soon as they finished, Poola Doola swung up to the top of a tree. She called out back down to W.E. "I know you can't fly, but I have to get up high to check the weather. It looks like rain. We must get to shelter, W.E. "Okay, I will follow your lead on a new adventure." Swinging down, Poola Doola let her feet dangle. "Grab hold, W.E. I don't want you to get soaked." W.E. grabbed hold and was swung through the trees till they came to a clearing. Poola Doola let W.E. down and put her tail over her shoulder. "Follow me. I have something special to show you." Rain started falling as they both hustled into a cave. Dark and damp, W.E. wasn't able to see anything. Poola Doola felt behind a rock and flicked a switch. The cave had lamps on the ceiling, lighting their way. Wow, Poola Doola, this is incredible. W.E. wasn't amazed about the lamps, but the drawings that were on the wall all the way up to the ceiling. W.E.'s eyes wandered back and forth. All the drawings were in black against the red clay of the cave. Are these your drawings, Poola Doola? Yes, I come here to create. Every story meanders across the wall. The best thing is when my friends come here, then I can tell them the stories. I make them up from what I see in the trees, the insects, the faces of the animals. I like to draw pictures so I can remember the story. Just like my great-great-great-great-grandmother, I'm a storyteller. My great-great-great-great-grandfather would sit and listen all night to the tales she would tell. I guess I have inherited her storytelling. I start a story, then I see where it can go. There are times when I start off about a sad bumblebee. Then by the end, he has 20 friends making him happy by singing songs. I don't know where it comes from. So how do you remember everything?
I don't. I let my mind run wild. You must try it. Create animals, birds, landscapes in your mind. Then where do they go? What do they see? Even let your friends help out if needed, as you can make a story together.
I must try that. I write songs, but not stories.
Then maybe you make a song into a story, or a story into a song. Now let me show you the river I often sit beside to think.
Poola Doola led W.E. out of the cave. The rain had eased, with new smells flowing into W.E.'s beak. They walked through the trees till they reached a river. Down by the river, a flat rock jutted out into the water. Poola Doola curled her tail to the side and sat down.
This is where I like to sit and think. Every now and then, I jump on a log and ride down the river.
It's lovely, Poola Doola.
Oh, W.E., look! Here comes a log. Quickly jump aboard, and I will follow along from the trees.
There isn't a waterfall, is there?
No, W.E., quickly!
W ran as fast as his little legs could carry him and jumped onto the log as it floated by. He flopped on top with his belly leading the way. He held on with his wings, tilting his head to the side to watch Poola Doola as she swung through the trees. He looked ahead, the river water rippling away. When he looked back at Poola Doola, she was gone. Looking off in the distance, she was swinging back up the valley. Maybe she had a new story in her head, she just needed to draw quickly. W.E. lay on the log with his feet drooping in the water. The sun was warm on his back as the rain clouds parted. Back and forth the log went, making him drowsy and dozing off to sleep. Back and forth W.E. slept. He was fast asleep when suddenly a bell rang. It was the weekend, so it wasn't his alarm clock. Oh, it's the breakfast bell on the boat. Better get up, as he didn't want to miss out, especially if the pancakes were fresh. That day on the boat, W.E. sat with his friends making up stories. They laughed at some of the crazy ideas they had and where they would end up. There was a story about a dolphin who kept losing his car keys, even though he couldn't drive. One about a moose who liked to hang his laundry on his antlers. He was made fun of at first, but then his friends became envious, as his towels would always dry quickly. W.E.'s favourite came from Cameron the Whoop Whoop bird. It was a lovely tale about a mouse in a large house, but didn't have a family to fill all the rooms. Over time, he took in all the orphan animals, then his house was full of love and laughter. However, most of the laughter was towards a story about an orangutan who always swung from the lights, breaking them as he did, but always calling out, "Sorry, sorry, 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 sorry." The end. Thanks for listening. Maybe you make some stories up like a Blue Bellied Boopa Snoopa. You never know what might come out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep following W.E.Kiwi. That's it. Another 5 finished.
Yes. That's 10 stories, John. That's a lot of work we've done.
Yep, there's a lot more stories to come.
Yes. Oh, yes, there's still a lot of work. We've got a lot of stories still to do.
I'll leave you to finish off.
Okay, thanks. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Quark. You're doing an excellent job. Bye.
Right, time to pack up. Oh, is that the time? I better get going. I've got the movie to see tonight with my friends. Oh, everything's switched off it. Oh no. Why do I keep doing this? Right, shutting down in 5, 4, 3, 2. Now that's all. No, I've done it again. I've got to concentrate. Maybe I should write this down more often. And off. No, this one. And off.